Yo, yo, yo. Boston forces a game 7. Um, I had Boston winning this um, from the get go. At this particular point, the NBA has to have a big market team in the NBA Finals. The Miami Heat, they don't have uh, the draw in terms of a star player to actually allure and to get people to watch the NBA finals if they make it. So when you think about it and you look at the NBA finals, and you look at the history of the NBA finals, look who's always been in the NBA finals. It's always been a star type caliber player that they built up, and it makes you want to watch for ratings, so they can put the big commercials. This isn't all sports behind it. So let's look at it. Uh, Magic, Jabbar, Magic, Bird, Larry, Bird, Michael, Michael Jordan, you know, Carl Malone's, you think about, LeBron James, Kobe. Uh, you think of those type of teams. Those are the type of teams, Steph Curry, that have a name. Now the Spurs, they were just good. They slipped in, but it was kind of boring watching them. It's like they came in, they annihilated you, did what they had to do, got you out of there, and it was over with. But Tim Duncan, he's not the most exciting player. He's very, he's fundamental, but he ain't really, really exciting. So the NBA has always had to have those big rivalries. And so it should have been the Lakers versus uh, the Boston Celtics for the battle, for 18. So they tied. That's what it is. But, LeBron, he choked. Okay, he choked. Uh, the Lakers choked. They put them in a position to win. They should not have gotten as far as they did get, but they got the assistance from the NBA. They got some help. Their free throw line got a new team. They got lots of free throws. Lots of free throws. In fact, we was in the calling the Los Angeles free throw shooters because they were shooting double, triple the amount of free throws than their opponents. And then a lot of times people argue, well, that's because they attack the basket, but they only ranked 6 in points in the paint. Okay, 6 in points in the paint. Uh, I think the Memphis Grizzlies were number 1 in points in the paint, and they shot more free throws than the Memphis Grizzlies. Going into every series, they shot more free throws than the Grizzlies, who were number 1. They shot more free throws than the Golden State Warriors. They shot more free throws than the Denver Nuggets. So there was an agenda to me to actually get the Lakers in the finals. It should have been the Lakers versus the Boston Celtics. So this is how I know that at least one of the teams going to make it is over with for Miami Heat. Okay, unless Boston finds a way to choke it when they let them get this game tonight. Okay, they let them get this game tonight. When they get back to Boston, Boston is going to win on their floor, and they're going to go to the NBA Finals to face the Denver Nuggets. And who's going to win? To me, the more talented team and the team that is together in terms of their playing style uh, is basically the Denver Nuggets. Okay, that's the team that should win because they actually have a system. They run their offense through the Joker. They got 3-point shooters. Um, Pope. They got Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr. They're pretty deep. Now, in terms of Boston, Boston plays a lot of ISO basketball. Okay, that's going to could be an Achilles heel to the Boston Celtics is the ISO ball. You already know it's either going to be Tatum or it's going to be Jaylen Brown. That's how the offense goes. And so if they hot from the 3-point line, then they're almost virtually unstoppable. If they're cold from the 3 point line, then they end up losing the game. And tonight, they took a lot of 3 point shots, okay? A lot of 3 point shots tonight. And they got bailed out, okay? At the end of the game. That rarely happens on the tip end. So this is going to send them to a game 7. Now, Denver is a good 3 point shooting team. So they can't afford to be off. They cannot afford to be off. And so to me, they have not grown that much more since when they faced the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors um, are a better team than the Boston Celtics. So if the Boston Celtics were playing the Golden State Warriors in the finals, I would put my money on the Golden State Warriors. I'm just hypothetically speaking because the way they share the ball, the way they run their offense, the screens, the pin down screens, etc. Boston gets stagnant on offense, and you'll just see Tatum pulling up from three in the transition when he should have got to the basket, or Jaylen Brown pulling up the three, Marcus Smart pulling up the three. And sometimes that is not always the high percentage shot, but that's the way they play the game of basketball today. Okay, so sometimes the high percentage shot is overlooked. They don't get to, like back in the time where Phil Jackson and Greg Popovich, back in those times before the game changed, if you pulled up a three in transition like that and you kept doing it like that, you would get benched because the high IQ the high IQ of a basketball player tells you to attack the basket to get to the rim. And so I think Boston might have attempted 60 some 3 pointers tonight. That's really high, okay? That's really high. And I think until the fourth, they might have only knocked down like 6 of them. So they almost shot themselves out of the game. So they're not going to be able to do that against the Denver Nuggets because you got Contavious Caldwell Pope. You got all these different people that can shoot the three, and it can get nasty and it can get ugly fast in terms of the ability to knock down 3 point shots in this type of game. So Boston is going to have to adjust, but I think it's over with for the Miami Heat. Uh, I don't think the Miami Heat are going to be able to go into Boston, pull it off. I think psychologically and mentally, this loss hurt them because they could have had it. Jimmy Butler went to the line, knocked down his free throws under pressure, and then they get back to the other end. Marcus Smart, he shoots a three, it rattles in and out, but they ended up getting uh, a tip. And now this works good for the league because Boston probably is a bigger market in terms of fans, and they got some stars on their team that they could promote. They could promote Jason Tatum, and Jaylen Brown, and so that's one of the oldest. Anytime you had a Boston Celtics in the finals, you're doing good. So they went there last year, and I feel like if they get there, they got a great chance of winning. But they're gonna have to clean up a lot of different things, and the coach. I don't know if this coach is as good as Idoka. I think Idoka made better adjustments than this coach. Too much ISO ball, too much ISO ball. They're gonna have to cut down on their turnovers, and I would say be smarter with their 3 point shooting, and don't get into a 3 point shooting contest with the Denver Nuggets because you're not gonna win that. But seeing the way the game is played today, I don't think they're going to make that adjustment in terms of constantly attacking the paint, constantly, using going for the high percentage shot. But like I said, that is how they play in today's game. Um, I've seen plays where a player uh, would be dribbling the basketball and he would get to the 3 point line, and you would have your big in the paint and be open, like Thomas Bryant. Okay, like Thomas Bryant, for example, and they won't pass him the basketball. They'll pull up for three. He'll be open, or he'll have a little man like guarding him. And so I can never understand that for the love of God. Why they don't go for higher percentage field goals. Because playoff games are generally tight. This win tonight was won by a bucket. They're tight. Kind of not like the regular season. You may have some blowouts, but that's kind of rare. So it's usually a tight, and so the margin of error is very slim. So the margin of error for Boston is going to be, even on Sunday, is going to be slim. We've seen they got hot previously in the games before to end up knocking down the threes to get a game to force a game two, and then today they just got it. To me, a little bit of luck was involved in today's game. You need the luck. You definitely need luck to win, but a little bit of luck was definitely involved in today's game. Because if that tip in doesn't go in, the Miami Heat will be in the finals versus the Denver Nuggets. And the thing is, you got to really be a basketball fan to watch. Okay, you got to really be a basketball fan to want to watch the Denver Nuggets versus the Boston Celtics. I'm sorry, versus the Miami Heat in the finals. Okay, so that's not a matchup that a lot of people were probably looking forward to. But I'm saying all this to say that in order for Boston to win the championship, they're definitely going to have to clean up a lot of areas. Now, for me, I like how Denver is playing, has played up until this point. They're poised, they're patient, uh, I think they would just need to continue to running the offense that they've been running it through the Joker. They're also deep. Okay, so they can play in the paint. Okay, in terms of they got Thomas Bryant on that team because remember the Lakers. Uh, Thomas Bryant walked. Okay, he went over there and he joined them. Uh, and he didn't play against the Lakers. And I was kind of surprised that Michael Malone did not make that adjustment and put uh, Thomas Bryant in the game against AD because AD don't really like to play in the paint. So and they still got DeAndre Jordan. Okay, so they got two bigs that can get in the paint and can cause some damage against the Boston Celtics. So they don't have to totally, they could, because, the Joker kind of got like a finesse game. He'll pick, pop, shoot the three, get down, pass the ball, spot the open man. Thomas Bryant and DeAndre Jordan, they're not going to do that. Those are more of your alley-oop type people, but you can do that. So I'm wondering, and they still got Reggie Jackson. They got Reggie Jackson, who's on that bench, okay, who played a little bit in the series. They're very deep, okay. Uh, Jamal Murray, that's going to be a heck of a matchup. Man, that's going to be a heck of a matchup. So they're going to be able to have to contain Jamal Murray because he can go off. He went off for a 50-point game in the playoffs in the bubble before, followed up by like a 42-point game. He did that in the bubble also. So they're gonna have to be able to contain Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. He's gonna have to be better with his shot making, his decision making. Now Michael Porter Jr. is a good 3-point shooter too. So Denver definitely got the pieces to blow the Boston Celtics out of the water. Okay, they remind me of Golden State Warriors uh, in the 2015 season when they had Leviston and they had you got Curry, Harrison Barnes, Festus Ezeli, Steph Curry. They had a lot of pieces. They had coming off the bench. They had the bench mob. And they could come in, even be down by 15, 20, and that lead just evaporate like that because they had all those different shooters on their team. And this is what Denver reminds me of because when the Lakers were winning and when they were up in the games, Denver was never out of it. Okay. So like, a couple games like that last game 4, when the Lakers looked like they were gonna prevail, all of a sudden, uh man, they knocked down the three. Joker knocks down the three. Um, Pope knocks down the three. And next thing you know, just like that, as soon as the Lakers make their run, Denver's back in the game. So Boston can't afford to make those type of mental mistakes that they are making in this series against the Miami Heat. Because if they do, I am predicting that it's going to be blowouts. Now, I know if you pay attention to basketball, a lot of times, I think they're investigating a ref right now. When the team is down and behind, they'll start calling ticky tack fouls to try to bring them back. They did that. They did that in L.A. when they put the Joker. They could put him in foul trouble a couple games, sit him on the bench, try to make the game a little bit more. I hate that. It's like, look, if you can't make the adjustments and be able to win the chess matchup and be able to do have your strategy executed in a proper manner to be able to succeed, then look, let's watch back. I don't want to see no free throw contest unless it's if the foul was warranted. You know what I mean? Because they'll come down and be like, "Was it a flagrant?" And back in our time, it's like we knew when it was a flagrant. Now you swing at them a little bit, and oh, that's a flagrant. So today's basketball is a little bit softer to me. Yesterday, Adam Silver did an interview. You guys should check it out. I'm going to post a video on it with Kevin Garnett, and Kevin Garnett was asking him, "Do you think the league is a little bit softer with defense?" And Silver replied back and was saying that, well, he doesn't want basically the NBA to be too much defensive like it was in the 90s because he thinks that it'll stop a player like Steph Curry from being able to execute his talent the way he can. Okay. Now, I don't like that. Okay. Because Michael Jordan, Reggie Miller, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, all these guys played in the physical NBA, right? And they had to execute and use their talent to get to that level. Okay, they had to play through those hard fouls, those elbows, those forehand checks, being knocked down on the floor, etc. Now, I'm not saying the player is supposed to go out there and get hurt, but having a complete soft game is also what's wrong with the NBA too. Your big man can't stay in the paint. Uh, Otherwise, they'll call a 3 second violation. So you remember that's why this game is different because you Shaquille O'Neal, Patrick Ewing, David Robinson, uh, all the Hakeem Olajuwon, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, those guys can get into the paint and they could clog up the paint. Okay, they clog up the paint. By the time you get past your man and you get ready to try to lay it up or dunk it, you get knocked down. Okay, you'll get knocked down or get your shot blocked. So today's game is a lot easier because when you got LeBron James being guarded by Jamal Murray, and he spins off of him, and there's really no resistance when he gets to the paint because if the center hasn't switched over or he's not there in time, there's nobody to really block his shot. But that's why he struggled in transition against teams or in a half court game against teams like the Milwaukee Bucks or teams who have a big like Jordan Embiid shot blockers. Because it's a lot of teams play small ball, and that's predominantly because of the Golden State Warriors. They revolutionized the way the game is played in terms of small ball. But sort of the big man in this season kind of came back, and that kind of came back to hunt the Golden State Warriors because trading James Wiseman was a mistake, in my personal opinion. Because now look, Looney is great, grabs you 20 rebounds, playing his butt off, but Looney, he really isn't an athletic center who can just knock down shots, sprace the floor, create his own shot, things of that nature. Uh, James Wiseman, if you remember, before he was traded, before he got injured, he had a career high game of I think like 35 points. Okay. He also was able to knock down 3-point shots. He was able to do those type of things. And that came to haunt them in this season. That came to haunt them this season, not having a real big man. Okay. So, like I said, in order for Boston, we're gonna go back to this. In order for Boston to be able to, I believe this series is over with because mentally, I think that I believe that the Heat they're gonna be drained. They're gonna be drained. They ain't gonna be. They gave all they can have. They're shorthanded. They don't have Victor Oladipo. It's over with. Okay, so it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be Boston versus the Denver Nuggets, but Boston cannot make the mistakes that uh, they made in this series and particularly the game tonight, where they turn the ball over, turn the ball over, turn the ball over, put up too many threes, and miss those shots. Now, um, there's a lot of people that's watching this channel that have not yet subscribed to it, so please subscribe to the channel. Help us get to 1,000 subscribers. We work hard to give you great content. Comment below. Let me know what you think, where the direction of this playoffs is going, who you got winning. I want to keep bringing you great content. So those who come back and watch the channel, please smash that like button. Keep me in the algorithms and subscribe. Okay, but that's just my quick breakdown of what happened tonight. All right, peace.